An Australian driver outside of Ballarat, Victoria, hits a slick, wet patch of road at 80 kilometers per hour on a Tuesday morning in July. She is driving on tyres she bought brand new just 12 months earlier from a major national chain. They were advertised as an affordable, durable solution for Aussie conditions. She presses the brake pedal and the car does not stop. It does not slow down. It simply glides forward like a hockey puck across ice until it doesn't. Those tyres did not fail because of bad luck or poor driving. They failed because every single person in the supply chain, from the factory in China to the apprentice who bolted them onto her Holden, knew exactly what that specific rubber compound would do on a wet, cold Australian road. And nobody told her. Welcome to the Great Australian Tyre Rip-Off. To understand what went wrong, you have to understand what a tyre is actually supposed to be. Decades ago, companies like Michelin, Bridgestone and Goodyear treated tyre manufacturing as a serious engineering commitment. A tyre was a complex mix of steel belting, high-quality natural rubber, and carefully balanced chemical additives designed to grip the road. A bad tyre was a commercial liability. If it failed, the brand's reputation was destroyed. Then two things happened that completely ruined the industry. First, manufacturing moved. Production shifted aggressively to Southeast Asia and Eastern Europe to chase cheaper labor. Second, the global parent companies started buying up every small regional brand they could find. The premium name still gets the good rubber, but the budget shelf gets what is left. Same factory, different label, and a vastly different stopping distance when it rains. Let me tell you what is actually inside a modern budget tyre, because the industry is betting its entire profit margin that you will never ask. The secret ingredient is silica. High silica compounds keep rubber pliable. They allow the tyre to deform slightly and grip the microscopic texture of the road, even when it is wet or cold. Premium tyres use high silica formulas. They cost more to make, and they perform measurably better when a child runs out into the street. Budget tyres drastically reduce the silica ratio. The compound is stiffer, cheaper, and perfectly adequate when it is 30 degrees and bone dry. But when an Australian winter hits, or when the road gets slick from a sudden downpour, adequate becomes a guardrail. Below 10 degrees, the cheap polymer chains slow down. The tyre stiffens. It stops gripping the tarmac and starts riding over it like a stone skipping across water. And here is the conversation the guy at the tyre shop is explicitly avoiding while he runs your credit card. Australia has incredibly lax tyre regulations. While Europe recently introduced strict laws demanding that tyres maintain safe wet grip performance even as they wear down, Australia has no such requirement. Because the European Union is clamping down, international manufacturers are taking all the cheap, low-silica rubber that failed European standards and dumping it straight onto Australian shores. They are legally allowed to sell you a product that they know is mathematically incapable of stopping your car safely in the wet. Let us look at the numbers. Because the physics do not lie. Independent testing constantly shows that from 80 kilometers per hour in wet conditions, a premium tyre from a major brand will stop a mid-size car in roughly 30 to 35 meters. A cheap, low-silica budget import can take up to 14 meters longer to stop. 14 meters. That is 3 full car lengths. That is the entire width of an intersection. That is the distance between a near miss and a catastrophic multi-car pileup. The industry is selling Australia a hard plastic ring wrapped in a budget-friendly marketing pitch and calling it a solution. Let us name some names. Before anyone tells me I am being dramatic, we can talk about drama when your dual-cab ute plows through a red light in the rain. Starting with the absolute bottom tier. The unbranded mystery imports. If you walk into an independent tyre fitter and they offer you a brand you cannot pronounce, or one that sounds like a random combination of aggressive English words, Run. These tires are manufactured with cost structures that make quality compound formulations economically impossible. Fleet managers who run hundreds of delivery vehicles track this data obsessively. They document dramatically higher failure rates, uneven wear, and terrifying wet weather traction deficits with these ultra-budget imports compared to mid-tier alternatives that cost just $40 more per corner. Then we have the factory-fitted trap. Right now, Australia is seeing a massive influx of budget electric vehicles and cheap imported sport utility vehicles. To keep the driveway price low, manufacturers frequently fit them with domestic Chinese market tires. Electric vehicles are heavy and deliver instant torque. When you combine heavy weight, instant power, and a cheap low-grip factory tire, the results are terrifying. You assume that because you bought a brand new car, the components are premium. But you are driving a heavy, powerful computer sitting on 4 circles of heavily compromised cost-cutting rubber. And finally, the heavy-duty false economy. If you drive a 4x4 or a ute, the temptation to buy cheap all-terrain tires is massive. But budget brands in this category are notorious for wearing out twice as fast as premium brands. You might pay $800 for tires that are completely bald and illegal in 20,000 kilometers, whereas a premium $1,200 set would comfortably last you 60,000 kilometers. You are not saving money, you are just renting garbage. So how do you escape this system? Here is the ranked list of what you should actually be putting on your car. Number 3, the mid-range sweet spot. Brands like Kumho and Hankook, these South Korean companies, invest heavily in real research and development. Their mid to upper tier tires use legitimate silica compounds that genuinely grip in the wet. They retail for roughly $120 to $150 a corner for a standard passenger car. They are a massive safety upgrade over budget imports at a price point that will not ruin your month. They are not luxury. They are honest. Number 2, the 4x4 benchmark, BF, Goodrich, and Falcon. If you drive a heavy vehicle, stop buying generic mud terrains. These brands have incredibly tough sidewalls designed to survive Australian outback conditions. Yes, the initial sting to the wallet is higher, but the long-term arithmetic always favors the tyre that does not need replacing every 18 months. Number 1, Michelin and Bridgestone premium lines. This is the gold standard for passenger safety. Tires like the Michelin Pilot Sport range or Bridgestone Potenza use proprietary compound layering. As the tire wears down, it reveals additional silica-rich material, meaning the wet traction actually remains consistent throughout the life of the tire. You are paying $200 a corner, but you are buying peace of mind that when you hit the brake pedal, the car will actually stop. Before you buy another tire, I want you to walk out of this video with 3 rules in your head. First rule, check the DOT date code. It is a 4-digit number stamped on the sidewall. The first 2 digits are the week, the last 2 are the year. If a tire says 4221, it was made in the 42nd week of 2021. Rubber oxidizes. Anything older than 5 or 6 years is compromised, even if it has never been driven on. Some shops will sell you new tires that have been degrading in a hot warehouse for 4 years. Do not accept them. Second rule, check the UTQG traction rating. It will say AA, A, B, or C. This measures straight-line wet braking. Only accept AA or A for your family car. Third rule, ask the person behind the counter explicitly. How does the silica content in this compound compare to a premium brand for wet weather braking? If they change the subject, point to the aggressive tread pattern, or tell you it is a great budget option, turn around and walk out. The compound is the tyre. Everything else is just packaging. The Australian tyre market is treating you like a dumping ground. The retail chain is structured to maximize margin, not your safety. The woman outside of Ballarat was not failed by bad luck. She was failed by a supply chain that made a series of economically rational decisions that had absolutely nothing to do with keeping her car on the road. Do not be polite about it. Be informed. Check the compound. Check the date code. And do not let a $50 saving be the reason your car does not stop in the rain. If this video saved you from making a dangerous mistake at the tyre shop, hit the like button so we can warn more Australian drivers before winter really hits. And hit subscribe because next week we are pulling back the curtain on the Australian insurance industry and exposing the specific clause hidden in your policy that guarantees they will severely underpay you if your car gets written off. You do not want to miss it.